We are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Titan Trivia. I cannot believe that I am saying that here on my channel, Chris Day channel. But as far as right now, this is kind of your new home for Titan Trivia. And today, a new thing. You know, when we said that we wanted to start fresh, to start new, to introduce the things that we wanted did, we decided to have a debate league. And we got two of the best debate competitors around the fan leagues. You know, they have been itching to face each other as we go and as we keep going to have eventually a movie Battle of Titans champion. We're going to have two really interesting gentlemen who are going to be fighting out today for movie debating. We'll get a little geek in there, we'll get a little current events, but we want to do the best that we can. So we each have decided to put a little bit with newer films, some news release dates, or even some geek stuff, because we have a lot to talk about today. So anyway, let's go ahead and introduce the competitors. So let's start off with Mr. Dave Lees. I believe it's the Dragon, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they call me the Dragon around these parts. I'm excited. I'm excited to get involved. You know, oftentimes I'm spouting out facts, but now I just get to argue my good fight, and I'm excited to be here. Chris, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, thanks for being a part of the Titan, league. I mean, this is amazing to have you a part of. So. All right, and of course, I mean, he needs no introduction. I mean, he's I can make a statement as I've just seen him recently in 2019 and 2020. Not just debating and not just trivia, but Chris Diaz has made a huge name for himself in the recent past couple of years. He's broke through. Chris Diaz, how we're doing, man, and welcome to the Titan League.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to facing my opponent. That did be a fun one. We had some really interesting traits that I can't wait to get into. And it did be fun. And so everybody out there, spoiler warning, we might go into spoiler for a couple of days. Okay, yeah, everything comes to.
All right. Well, without further ado, if you guys are ready, we are going to go into the battle. So let's go ahead and get started. Gentlemen, are you ready?
I'm ready, boss.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And, it's awesome to have it on Sunday football day, too. So go Patriots and go Bucks. Let's go ahead and start it off. And let's go with question number one. The recent movie Tenet has come out. Now, a lot of you who have a movie theater open realize there is films now to go see. So please go support your movie theaters first off, because they really need it. This is what we live for. This is what some of us want to do with our jobs, live in our passion. First off, before I say that, so Tenet has just recently come out, and love it or hate it, I adored it. Some people might have mixed on it, some people can't even see it yet. So if you get the chance to, please go check it out. It's worth the experience, and maybe you might need some earplugs. I don't know, it's up to you. But in recent news of the 2010 films, we said question number one is what 2010 film, the decade of the 2010s, Christopher Nolan film, will be remembered 10 to 20 years from now. So let's go ahead and start off with Chris Diaz. For your guys' three, let's go ahead with your opening arguments. So let's go ahead with Chris Diaz first.
So when it comes to Nolan, he made tons and tons of great movies from this decade. But I went with the one that started this decade off. It's my personal favorite. Come on, we want to more. It's complex. It had great acting, great visual effects. Bomb type of music with a very interesting, and it goes with Inception. Inception will be remembered not only for the plot, but also for acting, for visual effects, to the dialogue alone, to the way it's heavy on the edge of the seat, and also emotional complex with DiCaprio and Leonardo DiCaprio character. And what happens there with Dale and Prince subplot, the took together with Tom Hardy, everybody keep great performance, and that ending, everything, is a reality. People remember it more than what my opponent picked, and we begin to debate now to kind of try to talk about which one is better. But Inception to me is Christopher Nolan's best film. It's more highly regarded out almost all of his movies, except Dunkirk. But this is my personal favorite. It's probably my number one or two favorite Nolan films, and this was for me the best of the decade from 2010 to all the way to 2019. So my pick is Inception.
All righty, Mr. Dave Leaves, you may go ahead.
The question was not what is the best Christopher Nolan film. It is what 2010's Christopher Nolan film will be best remembered 20 years from now. And there is no other choice aside from Interstellar. Interstellar is not only a game changer in terms of Christopher Nolan films, where I think it is we get the best characterization of any characters in Matthew McConaughey and Jessica Chastain, and even Lil Murph. I think Anne Hathaway does a fantastic job in that. Those performances and the emotional resonance that each one of them brings will be remembered down the road. Also, Interstellar literally has changed the way the world works. Without Interstellar and the graphing and digital technologies that were used in that film, we would not have real life scientific breakthroughs like being able to map a black hole. That is a legacy that you cannot take away from. When you look at and let's just talk about the visual effects, TARS, you look at that and you think, okay, that's just something that some animator did in his house. No, that is a practical puppet that they had a guy on set doing for most of the film. And TARS may be the greatest robot of all time. Interstellar is not only top tier Christopher Nolan, it may be one of the films that will define this era in filmmaking.
Okay, gentlemen. So I will let you guys. So I'm going to exit out so you guys can debate. But I will put a timer for 3 minutes. So whenever you gentlemen are ready, we are going to do the 3-minute timer, and I will exit out and let you guys debate it. Are you gentlemen ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and debate it for 3 minutes.
Okay, here's my problem with Interstellar. It's a good-looking film, and there's moments are brilliant, but the moment of the dawn subplot, the subplot that Matt Damon only came in halfway through the movie, the whole love dialogue, it's really cheesy, really juicy dialogue, and actually, the whole shaky accent stuff is really unnecessary. It takes it nuts. It's that bit in complex, but it takes you invested in characters. The character of his guilt of what happened to his wife and trying to get back to his kid and to get one impossible mission of doing the dream. It really figures out like the
Inception.
The building doing on top of each other, incredible. It's not wait till later on when we get to Doctor Strange, but they do it just as good.
Now,
like complex story that actually makes invested. Like the one great scene in Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, the older message from his kid, going out and he couldn't be there. And that one great moment, but the rest of the film avoided emotional contact because you had content going nowhere. A robot, yeah, it's good to not use that much.
Whoa! You cannot. Let's back up here for a second. We're talking about robots not getting used. TARS from the beginning of the film is immediately introduced. He's used as a comedic relief. He's used as a main plot point. Hey, you had your minute. You're talking about how cheesy love and Anne Hathaway is. Guess what? That's life. If you can't these are forces outside of our control, just like gravity and love. Those are all real things. Interstellar is not a difficult movie to understand. It all is perfectly laid out. And Matthew McConaughey is not avoiding emotional He's
the only emotional character you can feel good in. Jessica Chastain great, but she doesn't come on to the later half of the movie, and it kind of like you got with Matthew McConaughey a lot in the movie, and Henry, she's great, but she did better performance on the second.
No, that I gotta disagree with that. Like these not coming in till the second half of the movie is not a reason to discount a performance or emotional resonance. When we're messing with time like this, it's important to see how the movies. This is just something that would happen when you have to deal with that. When he comes back to the space station and realizes that it's been 30 years or what have you, the breakdown on his face when he watches the video of Murph sending a video saying this is the day I am now older than you ever were when you left, and Matthew McConaughey is breaking down there. If you aren't emotionally enthralled there, you're missing something. In Inception, you point out the characters are so fantastic. We don't know anything about any of the characters with the exception of Cobb. We don't, and even then, we know he wants to get back to his kids, and his wife died. That movie is much more about the plot than it is the character. And the dialogue.
Okay, and time. Sorry, it kind of cut me out. All right, so let's go ahead and do the 1 minute rebuttal, the final statements or whatever. Dave, since you didn't get like a lot more time than Chris did, let's go ahead and start with you first.
Okay.
And you're on the clock. 1 minute now.
Okay. So again, I'm just going to keep going on. You're talking about the characters. The plot. The most interesting plots in the movies are the things that Christopher Nolan sets up and then does not explore at all. The thing I want to see in Inception is the people having a nap because they can't dream anymore in that weird underground lab with the chemist. The characters are all so nothing in that movie. Inception's a great movie, but the characters are second, if not third, to the plot and CGI elements, and that is not what a great movie does. You say the dialogue's fantastic. The dialogue, 77% of it is just, and this is how a dream works, and this is how this works, or it's dialogue counteracting something that happened earlier that now we have to defend. That now it's like, oh well, it doesn't actually work like this. We lied, and it's like, no, you didn't lie. You just wrote yourself into a corner.
And time. All right, let's go ahead to Chris for his final 1 minute. And when you're ready, and go.
In that reality of what will be remembered 10 to 25 years from now, that thing will be remembered not only for music, but visual, to the character, to the ending that is just debating highly today, to the acting for DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Justin Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page, Marion Cotillard, Michael Caine, Kelly Murphy, Ken Watanabe. Like, you remember those characters more than Interstellar. Interstellar, you only remember McConaughey, and that's the thing. And then the rest of the character of, like, idiotic, but Matt Damon and the dog wanting to get back, almost killing McConaughey in the process. To catch that running down the clock, but it's a stupid subplot. And it's a film that individual is good, but it's all over the place in terms of plot and motion, and we did not that great. And then, only invested one. But in fact, there's so much to it.
And time. Alrighty. Wow, that was a great debate. So let's go ahead and break this down. Judging on this, I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard. I'm not going to say that because obviously Inception is my favorite film. I'm not going to, as a debate, as a judge alone, we talked about the arguments and you both made some great points. But I'm going to give the point to Dave because Dave did say during his opening statement and his closing in his middle of what the question was is what film is going to matter 10 to 20 years down the line. You made great points about Inception, but at the end of the day, I didn't really hear more about what this film will matter 10 to 20 years from now. I mean, both films definitely are going to have an impact on the industry. I was wanting to hear more because, Inception's been out for now 10 years. Interstellar's been out for almost 6 years now. And that film has already made an impact 6 years later. So, I was still waiting to hear what you said, but both great points. So Dave gets the point for that one. All right, let's go in.
I gotta agree. By the way, Inception's the better movie, but it's not going to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's my favorite film. I'm going to debate that to the day I die. But it's like saying what's better, The Dark Knight or Inception. It's really hard to go up against both. So I mean, especially for Interstellar, because Interstellar has been out for 6 years, and like Dave said, it's already created scientific things that nobody really knows. So I mean. But hey, I mean, this is debating. This isn't really technology shit. So let's go ahead and move on to the second question of the argument. Obviously, Mulan has recently come to Disney Plus in wake of the pandemic. We hope everybody is doing very, very safe, by the way, for the pandemic. There's now a live-action Mulan film. So with all the live-action films that have made a lot of money, I mean, these films have made a ton of money. There's not been a lot that we think should be out. So number 2 is going to be kind of breaking me down to you guys who do not know. You're going to pitch me a live action Disney remake that has not been done yet. Now you have to choose any film that has not been done. So I don't want to hear about Aladdin or The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast. I want to hear one that has not been done yet. So I believe Chris or Dave first.
I'll let Dave go because I went last time.
Okay.
Yeah, he went first
All right.
last time.
Okay. All right. So Dave, you got the floor, my friend.
All right. Am I on the clock?
Not yet. Let's just hear our
Okay.
opening arguments first.
Okay. When we're talking about the live action remakes of the different movies, the ones we've had already have been, like you said, the big guns: Lion King, Aladdin, Mulan's hands down my favorite of the Disney animated movies. My problem is, though, why are we going back and remaking these? We're not adding anything. Beauty and the Beast, for God's sake, got a remake, and it was nominated for Best Picture. We're not adding anything. We're just giving a lesser version. So I want to go in and I want to look at a movie that not only has problematic elements in its original incarnation, but in today's society could be very important for everyone. And I'm talking, of course, about Pocahontas. Pocahontas is a movie that, when it originally came out, immediately gets backlash for the manipulation of the true historical events. Really makes Mel Gibson's character in that movie the hero who solved race relations. And I'm like, that's just problematic on end. So I want a live action remake of Pocahontas similar to Mulan that just came out, where it is more closely telling the actual story. And I understand that's a touchy subject, and there's a lot of things that would have to be. This would be a harder PG-13 movie, obviously, but it's important to remember our history and the problems that occurred on American soil all those years ago. And Disney can fix that with a new Pocahontas.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, we get to debate about my thought on that, but Disney, they've been going into the 90s, remaking every Disney animated movie, but they've been like a huge section of 2000 to like 2007, like when they got that Disney films that have not been announced to remake yet, and then one that is based on are popular but that have never been done again in a long time. It's Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet is a really fantastical sci-fi world of Treasure Island, but put into Spain. You got Tim Hawking, you got John Silver, the father, and some mental relationship that is really touching animated movie, but relatively by Directing Good 11 and Jim Murphy. And then it was right around in live action. This is what the next, like, Star Wars the next, Avatar the next. Like, Marvel movie, Treasure Planet is a film that should be looked into from its acting to its character to the visual effect of the Treasure Planet to its sound to the Shepherd Stone to John Silver and improve the way they all look in live action, and the finding some relationship with Terrell and like the Marvel Spider-Man movie to other stuff. And I was thinking like Tom Holland and Tim Hawking and they go differently. And I think Tim Hawking is going to go with Hugh Jackman does it to do really dumb. You like Brian Logan with the fun and some mentorship and Logan with fun and Jordan mentorship. But it's so good in it. Such an underrated Disney movie that flopped when it came out, but it's going to be recognized in today's standard. And the way they're about to do with Lilo Kitchen feature. I think Treasure Planet will hold up around with story, with technology, directed probably by, I didn't say, I want to say, you know what? Even Gilbert, because like the way he beat TikTok with Ready Player One and other stuff, it's fantastic role. I think it would work well with Steven Spielberg to step outside something you usually do, don't like you doing different messaging. I think Treasure Planet, thankfully, would work well with Spielberg's hands. So yeah, give it Treasure Planet. Like, I got a lot to say about the other one, so I can't wait for debate.
All right, gentlemen, when you guys are ready, we will go on 3 minutes debating. And go.
Treasure Planet does not need to be remade. So okay,
Are you kidding?
One sec. Treasure Planet does not need to be remade. We already have the best version. We have so many different versions of Treasure Island, man. And you're not. If you, I don't care. We have a perfect version of Treasure Planet, the Muppets Treasure Island. Guess what? And also, it goes to exactly what I'm saying. Treasure Planet, fantastic movie from the early 2000s. But why do we have to remake it? It just could be remade worse. That's all that's going to happen. It's going to be worse than the original.
You did get me. You're family friendly. So you want to remake Pocahontas, where in real reality, she was young when she married. She was started out England and survived savages. Like there's so many stuff that Disney would not want to talk about Pocahontas. They think that they made the same mistake they made with the animated movie in the same way again.
Yeah, guess what?
Mulan worked because it didn't have any of that dark history of there's so much I want to say about things.
I'm saying Pocahontas right now is an important movie. If when you look, the unfortunate truth is that movie it's dangerous for a lot of different reasons. Sanitizing history, we can tell the story of Pocahontas in a way that maybe is not family friendly, but is family accessible, where we can, in today's climate, where race relations, and especially being Canadian, the Indigenous population is so important, and getting more representation of them on film would be a boon for the industry and an amazing step forward in the 20th century.
But yes, if we talk about any studio besides Disney, that would be perfect. We talk about Disney, you're so down to it's family. They not really want to touch the film because if they get it wrong, they're going to be laughing. They're going to get hated by the Native American tribe and everywhere.
I disagree. I think you can make a version of Pocahontas that is accessible and not dangerous like the other one. Right now, generations of people grow up learning the wrong story and learning. There is no reason for Treasure Planet to be remade because it's not relevant. We have 1 million Treasure Islands. Let's just throw another one on TV. It would be forgot. Gone. We have two different Treasure Planets pre-1960. We have the Muppets Treasure Island, which is all you're going to do by making a live action Treasure Planet movie is say, I liked this better when it was the Muppets. The Treasure Planet is perfect in animation, and you would lose so many of those little gags and the little eccentricness with like the little robot Benny.
All right, and time. All right, so let's go ahead and because I didn't hear as much as I did, I heard more Dave this time. Let's go ahead and give the 1 minute rebuttal first to Chris. So let's go ahead. Chris, you have 1 minute on the clock. And go.
The problem with content, and I said it a million times, Disney is a family company. They would not want to touch it in a million years because Pocahontas was about 6 or 7 years old when she was made, and it would really feel inappropriate putting on Disney live action. Treasure Planet is a film that was brought by people but bought by the box. We brought it to today's standards with the film with Tom Holland and Jim Hawking and Hugh Jackman and John Lawrence Silver and Richard Fisher, but they were brought ready for one show in this film. Rupert Bell. Disney wanting to do the next Marvel, the next Star Wars, the next Avatar to bring today's standard. Pocahontas would be a step back, but not only would Disney be laughed at, they're going to be accused of a lot of stuff they do not want to be accused of. And Pocahontas, what Bell animated with live action, it looked rather Mulan because its story was late now.
And time.
Late and married.
Time. All right. And Dave, 1 minute on the clock. And go.
That's exactly why this movie needs to be made. Mulan, you're saying, yeah, I'm saying it has to be family accessible. And I think it's important now. I think keeping Pocahontas, if you're saying they don't want to be associated with this stuff, keeping Pocahontas on Disney Plus in a prominent spot is doing just as much damage as making a live action version would. Saying, oh, and we could have Tom Holland and we could have have Hugh Jackman, and we could have Steven Spielberg directing it. That sounds great, but we don't need it. We don't need this movie, and you can throw as many stars in as you need. It's not going to make a better movie than Kermit.
All right, and time.
Tim Curry, come on.
I like that last line. That actually
Yeah. I think the word of the day is #Kermit. Alrighty. So this one is probably the toughest one because bottom line, why the last one there was obviously a lead by Dave. I see both of your points. It's so hard because I'm thinking, while we're judging, and I've been judging because this one's really back and forth. I'm going to give the point. I'm going to give the point to Dave this time because I think both of the arguments are strong, and they are specifically strong. It literally was like a half of a point because even though Dave really hit it hard, Chris, you were hitting it hard too with the Treasure Planet thing. Like you were hitting it hard. And I think it even kind of fixated Dave a little bit, how hard you were hitting that one. So I'm going to give the point to Dave. You still have a fair game. You've got to get a point, though, to not get knocked out.
Treasure Planet is a fantastic film.
Yeah. So on the top of Pocahontas without mentioning the weight marriage.
I'm iffy. Yeah, see the Pocahontas thing was smart. And so was the Treasure Planet. The Pocahontas thing was smart. Now I just think they don't really need to remake all these movies, but I'll see it. I've said before we move on.
Like the movie that didn't do well, but did think that did their remake more than what they did well.
See, and if you said that in your opening in your ending argument, that probably would have got you the point.
Yeah.
But not going to be better than Kermit. I stand by that. I fully agree. Tim Curry, I don't care. Hugh Jackman, you ain't going to beat Tim Curry.
And for me, I'm going back and forth between that or Atlantis. I went with for me the better.
Alrighty.
I almost picked Atlantis.
Alrighty, so let's move on into question number 3. Thank you for all who are tuning in with us for our first episode. We will have this show probably either weekly or bi-weekly. So we look forward to having you guys on Fridays when we do this every single Friday. So let's go ahead and do question number 3. 2021. I think we can all say for movie fans that I'm just looking forward to getting through this year because it has been a tough year. See about 75 films. A lot of these are not even in theater. So, obviously superhero films have been making their names with Endgame, The Dark Knight, Logan. The list goes on and on and on. Shazam. I mean, a lot of other superheroes have been getting noticed. So I want to know, guys, 2021, what superhero film will change the industry forever? So let's go ahead. Chris Diaz, you got your opening statement. Let's go.
So 2021, and let me emphasize it. We had a conversation about it. It's still coming out 2021.
As far as I know, it is still coming out in October 1st, 2021.
And I'm going to go with, we're possibly doing that of the multiverse really well with these. I'm going to go with the Batman. Led by Matt Reeves with Robert Pattinson and Heath Ledger, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, the list go on, and Jeffrey White. It is a film that everybody's nervous for right now because, we had DCU, it's been back and forth between good and not so great. And they could be one of the first to have their own separate universe from the DCU. They had their own Robert Pattinson universe, and they during the DC fandom. With that, and then the year after the Flash, they turned it out its own way to do multiverse. And I think it's a good film. That we got record with the End, Cloverfield, both Work from Planet 8, Dawn of Planet 8, been great film after great film. And with Robert Pattinson, very a lot of people think him Edward from Twilight. They haven't seen stuff like Tenet, they haven't seen Good Times, they haven't seen Rover, or Disney. Then Charles Buck, don't thinking not to be a great Batman. But the trailer that came out recently, and then the marketing, this thing came forward. They allowed the idea of multi-universe before Marvel does it with Doctor Strange. Yeah, that we could do it well with different universe with this superhero, but haven't been done before besides television. And it's our first attempt to do this in a movie with Craig Creighton could go either badly or wrongly, but with the direction, with the writing, with the cast itself, I think the Batman they changed everything for better. Because they have new, different Batman that people will love. Because they had the idea of the multiverse, where unknown to a lot of people who do not watch the CW DC show. And it does allow us to finally break these things that have been struggling a lot because audience hatred towards stuff, especially with especially everything they're doing, like they need it when. And in terms of industry, it's going to allow most studios to take the big risk of studying different universes in the same series, when at this point, certainly haven't never been done before. And it also going to probably do a lot of stuff. Like there's so much I want to talk about, and it's hard to talk about in the opening statement.
The argument, yep. All right, Dave, go ahead.
Let me read you some names here. Selma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington, Barry King-jung, Kumail Nanjiani, and Leah McHugh. This is just a sample of the cast from the Eternals. The Eternals is going to change the superhero landscape forever because it is show me a more diverse cast in any superhero movie. We are getting people from all different walks of life, including the first differently abled actor in a superhero film with Leah Hugh, who is deaf. We are looking at the floodgates opening on all these new characters and actors who would have never gotten shot before. You could say it's easy for Selma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. Yeah, put them in the movie. They'll make money. But taking shots on such a broad topic with such a diverse cast, this will be the next Guardians of the Galaxy that changes the superhero landscape forever. That's my statement. I got a lot to say about the Batman. Am I frozen?
I think he's frozen.
I think he's frozen. Oh, there's two of him now.
What?
Oh, we have
Lord.
and Michael Keaton.
Wow.
I feel like the guy in Flashpoint. I feel like the two Batmans. Hey, there's only one. Hey, we all know what's coming out in 2021. First off, before we do the argument, that's Chris Day's Batman. That forget all the other ones. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm excited to share that news. By the way, on Wednesday, if you guys are not going to be around, please go check out the channel because we are going to be announcing the Batman movie. That's just a little bit of an announcement for you guys. Sorry, I kind of had to say that. All right, 3-minute rebuttal starting now. Go.
All right, Chris, you're going to tell me that Batman is going to change the game. Guess what? 10 years from now, this will just be another Batman movie that we can think about like, oh, that was pretty good. But it will be thought of in the same breath as The Dark Knight 89. You're telling me it's going to introduce the multiverse? It's not. This is going to be a very grounded film. Flashpoint will introduce the multiverse. Nothing will change from the Batman, my friend. Nothing.
Okay, let me establish. They say Batman and Flash owns. Batman is one of the first multiverse separate universe we're getting. Before Flash do a soft reboot, Batman is the first one. They have 3 different Batman in the DC universe now, with Michael Keaton, with Ben Affleck, and then Robert Pattinson. Like, it's very cool. And you say you're getting name of cast, like, I mean, yeah, it's great, but like, what else is there to be between ethnicity and diversity? Why would they bring so much change to what we're doing? We do one step before Marvel does with the Doctor Strange and the multiverse universe. Why did we do the idea of multiverse? But it cannot be introduced yet. We started CW stuff.
Yeah, but you can't tell me one of your main arguments in your opening statement was this is going to introduce the multiverse. This is going to change everything. It's not going to. This is going to be a grounded movie, and we're going to think about it. Oh, that's a weird Batman movie. The same way we're going to think about it, the same way we think about the Joker, where, oh, it's in its own thing. That's fine. It's not a crossover movie that's going to introduce the multiverse to the masses, so nothing's going to change. My movie is not only, you can say, yeah, they're great, but that's the point. The point is, there's so many people not getting chances right now because of, and as a white guy, I probably am the last person who should be saying this, but because of the color of their skin. And this movie is saying, you know what? No, one of you, everyone's getting in here. Differently abled actresses on screen, that's barely been done. As a mental health professional, that's so important.
In like 2 years ago with the fireplace, and a deaf actress, and down the empty fireplace. You don't think that they be supposed to be doing the
in a superhero movie?
Yeah. But still, like we just thought again, we don't have a guy with autism be the lead in Peanut Butter Falcon. Like,
I said specifically, we're not talking about that. That's not a superhero movie. I'm talking about in the superhero genre, which is the question. The question is, what's going to change the genre? What is going to change it? And the Batman is just going to be another Batman movie. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, maybe that's another MCU movie. Like, if we talk more about change, the one coming soon after that, like, that they have reintroduced that they reintroduced a Chinese Marvel villain that was recently introduced. That's more interesting. And then, but it does the same moment. Batman is set up a lot of things that we should finally bring.
Time. Oh my God, this one was even better.
I just blanked on the name, so sorry. But,
yeah, I know. I had to stop.
The Mandarin. That's what we're thinking on the Mandarin. Sorry.
I had to. Yep. Save that for the final argument. I had to stop that before it got ugly. All right, Dave, 1 minute and go.
To rebuttal again, the Batman's not going to change anything because guess what? We've had a million Batman movies. Robert Pattinson, guess what? He may be the definitive Batman for 20 minutes. 10 years from now, we're going to have two different people, and we're like, oh, yeah, that's another thing. Eternals is something we are only going to get once. We are only going to get this once, and it's going to introduce this whole new realm. It's going to set up the next phase of Marvel. The Batman, it's not going to be anything in 5 years. And right. Batman is not a safe. It's not a game-changing character. It's a very safe character.
Hey,
you call this fair, Day? You call this fair?
All right. Man, when you make a Batman movie, this is hard. All right, 1 minute conversation. Final argument. Go, Chris. Now.
Okay, Eternal. Yes, this has to great, but it's just another MCU movie. It's just another Marvel movie. It's like, and 10 to 15 years now, saying it doesn't mean that they're going to galaxy. It doesn't mean Batman is a game changer because it's setting up its own universe. The fact that we can have a multiverse. The fact that we can have three Batman in different universe. And it's still going to be the same thing. Like, they bring acting, they bring everything to, they bring names of Robert Pattinson, been made fun of in already because of performance effort. And they make so much. But don't remember years from now, because the game changer, the multiverse, the game changer that we can have three different Batman, the game changer that we have diverse characters like with Joey Kravitz, a Black Connection girl, that Black Catwoman, a better version that not Halle Berry. And it gave me so much things. Anything that we had that bring for 10 years disability.
And time. Alrighty.
I would put in the fireplace and peanut butter.
I'm gonna break this down.
I'm talking about superhero movies, Chris. I'm talking about superhero movies.
Yeah. The correct answer is Chris Day's Untitled Batman film coming out July 3rd. All right.
I want to say, if you give it to the Batman, it means your movie is not going to be any good. Just because you're saying it's going to be the second best Batman movie. I'm saying, are you willing to say that?
No. I got judging this based on each rounder. Because this one was tough. Because it's same thing with the pitching one. I mean, like round one, we were talking about mostly cast. Chris had that one based on the entirety cast, and Dave's not just based on that. Dave's diversity too was there. I saw more of his argument with that. Second, Dave took explaining that you're going to see something different from the Marvel world. But ultimately, I'm going to give the point to Dave. I think he gave more. I was expecting a little more. I wanted to hear the what the Joker did was changing the game, and what Batman was going to do was going to bring something kind of like a detective to Batman, which has never really been done like what they're hoping to do. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying which movie. If I was saying basically, my fan, if I was debating, I'd say what movie am I more excited for? Fuck Batman, man.
Oh, it's Batman.
Yeah, hell yeah. This is like this is probably my most anticipated film ever. This is probably the best trailer I've ever seen too. So I mean, and it's a different side of Batman, and with all these villains that you see, all these iconic villains. I mean, I wanted a little more from that from your final statement. But hey man, you at least have to get a point to stay alive. So this next 2 questions, you got to get a point. If he gets this next one, it's a game over. So let's go ahead into our final one. 2 weeks ago, we were all really, really shocked and stunned when I heard, and as many of you know, who is an idol to myself, who is one of my favorite actors coming up, Chadwick Boseman passed away at the age of 43 from colon cancer, which he did not tell anybody. And, his film work is still to this day, he's got one more film, but, in my eyes, he already deserves that Oscar. So please, Academy, notice him for The Five Bloods or even for Ma Rainey's because he earned that. If you've seen The Five Bloods, he is incredible in that movie. I'm not debating that. I don't even know, but my biggest thing I want to say with this is I want to know what is the best Chadwick Boseman performance based on his performance and what he as an actor put into that role. I don't want to talk about this is what movie a performance will stand up to him till the end of time for his career. So let's go ahead. And who went first last time? Was that Chris or Dave?
Yeah. Chris went first. So I'll go first.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
This was such an easy pick for me. I'm not gonna, when we eventually get to the debating, I'm not going to say a bad thing about any one of his performances because I think this Chadwick Boseman was a fantastic actor across the board and everything he did. But for me, when I think Chadwick Boseman, I think Get On Up, where he played James Brown. That movie, he has to run the gauntlet of emotional range, starting from the beginning of the movie where he's got a shotgun, he's waving around, he's like, who took a shit in my house? And I'm not going to try and do the voice because that would be disrespectful. To about, I think it's like 3/4 of the way through the film where he just gets really intense and just punches his wife in the face. And I'm like, I don't like this guy. But then he wins me back with the performance. He embodies James Brown because James Brown had a very specific speech pattern and way of talking and a movement about him. And Chadwick Boseman was able to capture all of that as in essence. And I saw this movie well after Black Panther, so I was aware of who he was. But I just lose myself in that performance. It's fantastic.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Chadwick Boseman is one of the best, one of the great actors of our generation that passed sadly too quickly. I mean, we could go anywhere about any movie. A lot of performances are phenomenal. For me, one that stood out to me that when I think him, I think of him as King T'Challa, I think I had you say his name, aka Black Panther and Black Panther. The range of emotion from the nobility to struggling dealing with the fact that his father lied to him, that his father made a huge, awful mistake. The fantastic thing when he brought back to life his fake father in the reality, and that real-life reality, the ancestor crying, and he said, you're wrong, and why didn't you bring the kid home? That emotion on his face is so powerful, and he had a funny moment, do not record this line to him speaking up and he's speaking on it. There's so much more anything, and the last thing, the thing in the end when he gave me that speech, and it's so much Chadwick Boseman's made, and it's such a powerful performance for him. When you think of Chadwick Boseman, you think of King T'Challa, you think of Black Panther, you think of the main people are great. And then, it's great. I'm not denying that. And every one of his movies should be argued. I think what he brought to a Marvel character brings so much complexity to it. With him dealing with living up to his father image, to offer that father and offer decision to Dylan Richard Longer, like his mental motion back and forth, with little thinking, with little think big action, like everything about the role in Black Panther. And I could argue more, just maybe a tough argument because I love both of these movies.
Yeah.
You know, like, but let's get to debate on it. Debate hard to argue.
I love both performances, but I obviously would have argued that 42 just because it's my favorite performance of his. But anyway, here is the 3-minute rebuttal, and you guys may debate it. Go ahead.
I think you got to say, I think these are both great performances. This is going to be a very calm one because I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Yeah. But my only issue with picking Black Panther in Black Panther as you did is I think Chadwick Boseman gives the 4th best performance in that movie. I think Michael B. Jordan is better than him in that movie. I think Lupita Nyong'o is better in that movie. I even think that Angela Bassett with her 5 lines is much better in that movie. I think he's a fantastic, and I think T'Challa is just a very important character for a lot of reasons. But when we're talking strictly performance, I think Get On Up is a more impressive transformation when it comes to acting and his performance in general.
I think thinking about Get On, Viola Davis is really good in that movie as well.
I agree.
Like, I think that's more than neck to neck, but I think Viola Davis give a more complex performance. And I think with Black Panther, he made everything to the role, for the humor, to the dramatic side. The thing that he can funny and funny is emotional as hell. And the delivery is lying, and saying no more. And I would it'll hit you hard. And then, like, the nobility, like the end scene, is such a great performance scene.
I think his better performance
is really good. Like, when he tried to hit the mini target, and he got hit flat to back, like, don't record that, and delivery that so good. And freeze you out when you see the P-Nog, it's so funny. Like, he brings so much to this role. Like, when you think of performances, you see Black Panther, and like, you see what he did with the role, being the first African American superhero in a Marvel movie, and like, he could have even played any other, but he got so much into this role that you feel for him.
Okay.
Like,
I would push back. Obviously, he wasn't the first African American superhero in a Marvel movie. That was Blade. And I think when you're saying Octavia Spencer and Viola Davis in Get On Up, I think they are elevating him. It's both of them. They are elevating him where I think he is matching their accuracy. Even his emotional scenes with Dan Aykroyd, I think, are so good in Get On Up. But then in Black Panther, if you had said T'Challa in Civil War or Endgame, I would have given it to you. But my problem with his performance in Black Panther, it's not his performance, because I think, but it's is he becomes just another Marvel character in Black Panther, where he is just saying, "Oh, I'm doing this serious thing, and here's a joke," and I'm like, that's not the character we loved in Civil War. It's a great character still, and I think it's an important character, but it's not his best performance. Get On Up, again, he's running the range of emotions, and he got to create the character of T'Challa for all intents and purposes, from the way he talked, the way he moved. James Brown has a very specific way of just delivering his words and the way he moves, and being able to perfectly mirror that as an actor when we know that that's not at all how he talks in real life.
I didn't get a chance to talk. That he did a lot better than 42. Like 42 in one more effective performance than
I think
42. Like dealing with the Rachel Third, back and forth with Harrison Ford. And
I think 42's a great pick, but I don't think that discounts how good he is in Get On Up. I think it only elevates
and time. All right, sorry, I had a kid emergency. So if you're a dad, you understand that. All right, 1 minute rebuttal. Let's go with Chris first, and go.
But I just getting myself together. So.
Okay, I can pause the timer if you want me to. Till you're ready. You tell me when you're ready.
It's a tough argument.
It is.
Okay, ready?
It really is.
Yeah, it's really
Okay,
hard.
so anytime he did not put him into emotion, he don't admit the fact that he tried to live up to the father identity. He can't find some over to Black Panther. But he also does not lost off for humor, to the action, to the dramatic work perfect in. You still had Black things come on there, like his acting and then his way delivery, like there's so much he brings to the character that make his own unique character that didn't have anybody else like that. Yet Brown is really good performance, but he also had performance that conquered with Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, Dan Aykroyd. It's like Black Panther is his own unique movie. The movie is called Black Panther, and he killed the role. Like he brings everything to the role, and it's what we think of him today. I mean, everything, the line delivery, everything is unique to what Black Panther is. He is a big role model to everybody today. Like when you think
And time. Alrighty, go ahead, Dave.
Like, if you want
Time.
to answer that, this is tough.
Time. All right, Dave. It's all right. All right, Dave, and go.
Again, it's hard for me to say that Black Panther is his best role. When I think about Black Panther the film, I immediately think of Michael B. Jordan, that acting performance. Get on up though. Again, in terms of pure acting, he runs the gambit from being very serious in those moments with his wife, or in the great scene with him and Craig Robinson, where he's like, it's musical because so why don't you play it like I tell you? I don't remember the exact line there. To just the silly nature in the middle. The acting in that movie far exceeds anything else. Black Panther is an amazing choice, and it is more important culturally than it is for his performance. His performance is good, and it's important, but I don't think it's his.
Based on the argument, because this one was really hard as well. I mean, you both gave a really good debate. The one thing that added me up for this is when he was trying to say, Dave, was that the other performances mattered more than his, and then Chris responded with his own elegant, which got me. So I'm going to give Chris the point because I think Chris did give a really good substantial thing for Black Panther, while Dave really did strongly with Get On Up. He was really saying about like the one scene. I think the thing that got me was when he was talking about the scene with Forrest Whitaker, when they're talking about that scene that really, or him and his dad. I think that got me, but there was a lot of notice. It was a really tough one. So let's go ahead. They hate to disagree, but Get On Up is still a fantastic performance, and even that's going to be remembered for a long time, and people should still watch that movie who haven't seen that film. So same with all of his movies. Like, please go check out his films. He's incredible in everything he's done, even Draft Day, where he played a linebacker. So, I mean,
watch Defy Blood on Netflix.
Defy Bloods. Please go watch Defy Bloods. It is one of the best films of the year, and he gives, in my opinion, the best performance. He gives one of the best performances of the entire year, along with somebody we'll talk about soon, but I still think Ben Affleck is the best performance of the year. Anyway, question number 5, going into the end of this now. Dave, if he scores this, he will win the game. So, I mean, Chris, it's kind of on you, bud. I mean, if we need to, I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, we could have just went to a speed round, but I like the question 5. So let's just go ahead. Obviously, the Oscars are now going to April now of next year. So I want to know, you guys, with all the acting performances that are coming up, of what you've seen so far, what is a lock, in your opinion, for Best Actor, nomination or win for you guys? For the Best Actor category. Dave, I'm going to go to you.
You are?
No, wait,
okay.
Chris, I'm going to go to you. Sorry.
Before stop, let me preface this. If you guys have not seen Tenet or Defy Blood, stop here and wait until this debate is over, because we might be going to really heavy conversation with both. Like, I am trying to get everybody in the audience one year ahead. Like, So when it comes to performances, and I just not now, but when it comes to performances, they're too easily answered. They're one very easily acted for that male actor alone. That was when the performance into Fight Blood. That's the original movie. But it's a performance that hit you harder than this. But he is a Vietnam veteran who's coming back to Vietnam to find Joe with the rest of his command. But he's dealing with guilt of having accidentally killed Travis Brunner's character. He's dealing with the fact that his son coming.
Spoilers. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Son coming along, and they don't have an easy relationship, and he is traumatized. Like he brings so much to this role from whenever to take with his conversation with his son. So when he goes crazy and starts to make different decisions that nobody has to agree. So it going similarly speak to the audience and say, yeah, nothing less, and he just look at the audience. And it can shove down your body. It speaks to how amazing that boy Wender is an actor. Really underrated actor, too. Not a lot of people know besides this fight and a lot of the things. And the last thing, when he sang that little song, he didn't play like the Vietnam, not to the radio, but he totally did on him. It's showing it, but just how big the boy Wender is. And I got more to say, and I can't really just hear my opponent argument because we got two great performances here, and one is better than the other one.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Doesn't matter whose performance is better. The question is who is a lock to be nominated at the Academy Awards, and that is David Washington. Oh my God, why can't I think of his last name?
John David Washington.
John David Washington. There we go. I'm so David obsessed that I just skipped to the middle name.
Yeah.
Anyway, John David Washington in Tenet, known only as the protagonist. Day said it at the beginning. Not a lot of movies are coming out this year. And because of that, it's very much a situation where the Oscars, guess what? They're going to be just like this. And they're going to need something that is going to be bringing people in who actually want to watch the ceremony. They have enough problems with ceremonies as is. But now, with it having to probably be on Zoom, guess what? We need something that the masses have heard of. And that's going to be Tenet. Tenet's going to be the La La Land where it is nominated in almost every single category. Whether it deserves it or not, I'm not a huge fan of the movie. I don't think it should be. But John David Washington's performance as the protagonist, he goes from the new guy who's having to get everything explained to him to spoilers at the end, expositing this really mumbo-jumbo, kind of timey-wimey bullshit that doesn't make any sense, but you buy it coming out of him. Tenet will get nominated, and Tenet being nominated for Best Picture, the lead actors almost always get a nod. John David Washington will be nominated.
Get Out, Daniel Kaluuya, example A. In a way. All right, guys, 3 minutes on the clock. Debate it up. Going now.
So the only thing about John David Washington, he is the third best performance in that film. Robert Pattinson looked at Debicki, gave more complex performance in the film. And to Elizabeth Debicki as the abused wife dealing with the fact that her husband trying to bring about the end of the world and trying to be able to help out in a way and dealing with her abusing her husband. But that way went his performance on when you see the movie. Much of you all said before that was a really good movie. That way when the carry a lot of the emotional weight of the film. It will be made to Oscar. One because us Spike Lee as a director who just won food fight for Black Klansman, so they came on that way. And a film that people remember. Tenet is a film also where one day to watch it is pretty much like, oh, what this is. It's a lot of one note line after one note line.
I disagree entirely. I think if you're talking about Robert Pattinson in that movie, I think that's where you get your one note. John David Washington goes through a series of emotions in that film. And also, let's not forget the new inclusion policies here. They're going to want to the Oscars are going to want to show off, look how great we are, and look, this is a movie you have all heard of. This is an actor you have all heard of. Let's put him in there. We're going to want to put front and center, which I'm all for. It's about blockbusters being included, and it's about more diverse people getting nominated. Tenet and John David Washington fill both of those boxes, and he will get the nod.
And The Five Blood. We got two diverse things. We also talked about, I think they nominated the film and they can't understand half of it because of how bad it sounded at the end of the film. And John David Washington, yet he had great acting. He did a much better performance than Black Klansman from a couple years ago.
No, hey, here's the thing. That we're not talking about Black Klansman. I agree. That's a fantastic performance. We're talking about
Washington is just like he doesn't get much weight, but you get more with Elizabeth Debicki with the husband aspect.
We're talking about what is a lock for next year. Tenet is easily going to be the film that not only the industry but people are thinking of because nothing else is coming out. So if you don't think the people in the Academy voters, people love Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan can bring in people. There's been a big
love Lightly and Mel, and the fact to be Lightly just coming off of a win couple years of Black Klansman and the pedigree of what he does, and the cast Chadwick Boseman, Delroy Lindo, No Lewis. We could go on with the list.
We're talking about cast. We're talking about one performance.
Yeah, and Delroy Lindo brings so much more to the movie than John David Washington. He a guy dealing with guilt. He a guy dealing with the trauma of the
And time. Okay.
Can I be super honest? My audio was cutting out the entire time. I have no idea what Chris Diaz was talking about.
Okay. I heard some of it. So
okay.
I got you. Chris, I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna give you like a minute and 5 seconds. Just because he couldn't really understand you. So I'm gonna give you a minute 10. All right, go ahead and go.
So we have talked about who Davies won a best actor, and who's been nominated for Mike Wynn. And if they have one window, John David Washington character is very one note as a character. He doesn't have any emotional baggage. He does someone who does, like the audience, feeling everything for the first time. And he's the third best performing movie behind Robert Pattinson and Elizabeth Debicki. And like he better than Kenneth Branagh, but it definitely went to carry the film when he talked about the thing he talked to the audience. And I got nothing left. They did what they did. When he did in the bed, he did that song right before he gets shot. So the guilt he had with killing Chadwick Boseman, his comrade, even if it's accidentally, there's so much baggage going into the movie. But after that, mostly known for TV, John David Washington is that one note. I think, and especially when it's like Slade, who just got off the Black Klansman, when that's his screenplay a while ago. That gotta be on the name, on the cast, a performance that was sticking the mind for the end of the day. And you should understand that not have awful talent like Ted does, but a whole
and time. All right, Dave, 1 minute and 10 seconds as well, and go.
Okay, again, I didn't hear anything you say. Maybe it was all right. When I talk to people about what movies they're seeing, no one is talking about Five Blood, DA Five Bloods. The reason for that, and maybe it's a great film. I've seen it, but nobody, or I haven't seen it. I actually haven't seen it. I don't know why I lied, but it's a from everything I know, Spike Lee, great. But you cannot say that Tenet is not going to get nominated, and because Tenet's not going to will get nominated, it's going to bring in people for its score is going to get nominated. Its actors are going to get nominated because we are talking about the Academy who needs to bring in viewership. What better way to do that than say this is the premiere movie of the year that people are aware of? Let's bring it in.
All righty. Based on the arguments, both are really, really well. And I've taken a look at both of them, even though Dave could not hear a whole lot of Chris. He made some good points.
I'm sure he did.
He did. The thing that got me was for Chris to get the win was the conversation about the scene with Delroy and Chadwick, which is why I put spoilers. Because it's been out for a couple of months, but I know a lot of people haven't seen it as much as you should. Dave, if you have Netflix, please check it out. I know it's 2.5 hours, but it's really well done. The argument was both really clear on those. He made some points about the film being more recognized than John. It's going to be a really stacked year as well, which I kind of wish both you guys would have added. Because you don't forget, you guys have Timothy Chalamet and Dune and Gary Oldman and Mank.
That movie's not going to be eligible.
Oh yeah, well, it's still coming out Dune December 18th.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't get delayed.
No, I hope not. I really hope not, because it's my most anticipated for the rest of the year, and I love the novel. As far as I know, it's not. The only thing I think that would have moved it would have been Wonder Woman. Now I think they should, but I mean, just because I don't want them to have another Blade Runner, because a movie Bond. But based on the argument, I'm going to give the point to Chris.
Yeah.
So 2-2. I mean, Chris came back with that comeback. So I mean, it looked like it was going to be a knockout, but then.
Do I not have 3 points?
Do you have 3? Yes. Yeah, you do. Okay, my bad. I forgot we're doing 5, not 4. 3-2. So I mean, Dave still got it. I mean, you have to get 4 points to win, and Chris came back with those last 2. So I mean, well done to both of you. All right, let's move into.
I love tennis, so it's like.
Oh yeah, it's the best one of the year. So I mean, it's hard to compete against that too. So,
I think you're forgetting Vin Diesel's Bloodshot.
Oh, it's one of the worst movies of the year. So
tomato.
Yeah. Yellen reminded me so much of Fate of the Furious. I got no choice. Alrighty, so let's go into the speed round. Now, what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna have a speed round, but pretty much whoever goes to 4 points will win the match. Pretty much. So we are going to have what, if you guys don't remember from movie fights, they had what called a bin, and you dig your hand into a Walmart bin or something like that to get a film out. Now, in celebration of the DC fandom event, the question is, and the first person who calls it will get the film first, and they have to argue it. Okay, which of the 2 sequels is going to be better remembered of these 2 popular franchises? Batman Returns or Superman 2?
Batman Returns.
Not the Richard Donner cut.
Batman Returns.
Okay, so that means, Dave, you are going to get the Superman 2. He seems very, very, very hesitant.
I don't like either of these movies.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it's going to be a 1-minute opening statement. A 1-minute opening statement for both of you. A 1-minute argument. And
why can't I have the Donner cut?
Okay, you can do the Donner cut.
I don't want it.
I'm not kidding there.
All right. I'm just kidding. All right, you guys ready? All right, I'm going to start off with Dave this time. And
do I have the Donner cut or not?
Yes, you can have. Yes, you can have the.
Come on, that's unfair because I have a disadvantage here because I only seen the original.
Okay, I can argue for the original. It's fine.
Okay. Alrighty. 1-minute opening statement and go.
Superman 2 will be remembered more fondly because of Terrence Stamp as General Zod. Superman 2 is the reason people didn't like Man of Steel. They're wrong, but it's the reason that people didn't like Man of Steel. You see Terrence Stamp, Feora. You get a whole different side of Superman that we haven't really seen. Even in the ironic ways, it's going to be remembered better with the cellophane S Superman, and it is the first instance of nerds winning and Richard Donner getting his cut. I'm not going to talk about the cut, but that moment there is why we're getting the Snyder cut now.
Okay. All right. Opening statement for you, Chris, starting now.
So, like in the next couple years, between these 2 movies, they both great, but one is better than the other. Convention Batman Returns is great because of Michelle Pfeiffer, because of Michael Keaton. They have a very fun performance for Christopher Walken, an underrated performance by Danny DeVito. Like, actually, Dr. Craig are making villains sympathetic. Like, you feel real sympathy for Penguin because of how he was raised up. Like, the way his parents abandoned him. Catwoman is iconic because Michelle Pfeiffer, Black Suit, kind of statue version of Catwoman And the relationship between her and Batman is one of the best Bond movies. Like the scene when they realize each other dancing is amazing. Her revenge on Christopher Walken is amazing. Like and cinematography, Tim Burton did one of his better movies back then, and it made you love Batman. Like the fact that they ruined it by going to the social media.
Time.
Like,
Time. All right, argument. Dave starts first. 1 minute on the clock. Starting now.
Batman Returns is not going to be remembered fondly. It's going to be remembered as Tim Burton's weird fetish dream that somehow got financed. Michelle Pfeiffer, Danny DeVito, sure, they're great. But when you talk about great Batman movies, that one it doesn't come up. It's maybe the fourth or fifth one that comes up after 89, all of the Nolan movies, and probably, you know what? It's in the same camp where Batman and Robin is bad for a lot of wacky, goofy reasons. Tim Burton's Batman Returns flies far back the opposite direction in just as bad of a way.
oh,
1 minute rebuttal and go.
they Batman Returns better than this. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, like, your movie doesn't have Terrence Stamp and Dawn. That fun movie. It didn't ruin because it wasn't directed first. It's like goofy humor, all of it. Batman Returns at least thinks about Batman is. You think of the villain, you think of the action scene, you think of Michelle Pfeiffer first entrance in Catwoman. You see the dancing between Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton, and you realize it's dancing. If I remember a moment, it is a really underrated Batman movie that does not get a lot of love as it should have. And when people go back and we watch it, they really like, that's how good it is. Anything is so massively underrated and Pinkman. And you got P.B. Hunter as a cameo in the beginning. And then kind of like later into Gotham TV show. But it's still like...
And time. All right. Final statement, Dave, and go. 1 minute.
Final statement. Superman Returns is going to be... it's already looked at more, or sorry, Superman 2, not Superman Returns, is going to be looked at more fondly. It already has aged better than Batman Returns. Batman Returns, you look at it, what all the problems we have with the DCEU now exist in that movie. Why is Batman killing people? Why is it just disgusting when you look at the Penguin? That's not fun. I don't want to watch that. When I want to watch a movie from that era, I'm going to put on Superman 2. I'm not going to put on Superman Returns. And you cannot win by saying it has Pee Wee Herman.
You said Superman Returns twice.
Yeah, shut up.
All right.
Okay, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready, Chris? 1 minute. Go.
Batman Returns is a really underrated movie. You're saying Superman 2 is fun? What led to Superman 3 and Quest for Peace? Thank you very much. So we got two crappy sequels today. We had one day film performance, and every performance in Batman Returns is great. And if you can read them, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Keaton, Christopher Walken, like everybody playing their all in. Came true to what Batman is. That's a dog, but it's still a Batman movie. And Michael Keaton still playing great performances. Right? And Michelle Pfeiffer, to the end of the day, what would you remember more? Terrence Stamp a dog or Michelle Pfeiffer in a sexy Catwoman to that is more memorable than any Catwoman movie that we had in other movies.
And time. All right. Time.
We're saying Superman and Batman interchangeably, and Returns is in both. I apologize if I lose for that.
I know it's all good. I'm just fucking with you. There was one thing I wanted to hear more from Dave, and that was the argument besides Batman Returns was what Superman 2. I mean, he gave some examples. I'm going to give the point in the win to Dave because I think that he gave a better debate than what I was wanting to hear from Batman, which I mean I understood. I heard more from Superman 2. I mean, he literally did try exhibit the example of why Superman Returns, but yeah, I'm gonna give the point in the win today, but it was very, very close as well.
I hate both of those movies.
Yeah, they're not good.
Man, it would have been not funny to argue Superman Returns and Batman vs Superman.
It's so easy. It's Batman versus Superman.
I love that movie. I will defend that movie till the day I die.
Are we talking about this? No, the radio cut is nice.
Yeah, the bottom. That's what it says. That's the truth. Alrighty. So, yes, Dave will take the 1-4 to 2. It was a very, 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 very good game. I definitely see this happening again for sure. These two facing off. And yes, Chris Day's Batman will be better in both. Thank you, Chris Day. You did.
I think he's frozen again.
Dave, you have taken the win, so
Yeah.
No, he's gone, man. He's gone. It's just us now. This is our show now. Chris, I had a lot of fun playing you today. I know things got heated, but this was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. I can't believe we ended up with Batman Returns versus Superman 2.
I know, or Superman Returns. Honestly, I thought when he said Batman Returns, I thought he was going to put it up against Superman Returns.
sorry, it kicked me off. Alrighty.
Yeah, argument to make between both.
Alrighty, Dave, you said everywhere you need to find you. We will get you another match for both of you soon. Chris, where can the good people find you?
I can say anywhere.
You can find me tonight on a bunch of stuff at Davey on Malcolm, Full Metal Classic, and Alex. So look forward to seeing you there. They're trying to get me in my second win in Classic.
Dave, did you get a chance to say where you were at or no?
No, me and Chris were just talking.
Oh, were you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
If you're interested in hearing me talk, go check out Schmoes of the North on Facebook. We're a Schmodown fan group. We have a lot of great stuff there. Interviews with your favorite competitors. We just dropped one with the rookie upset sensation, Adam Collins. Next week, we have Chance Ellison dropping a lot of stuff coming in. We got a lot of movie shows, shows about living in Canada. A lot of great stuff over at Schmoes of the North on YouTube. Go over there and subscribe.
I wanted to ask you, gentlemen. Obviously, you know, with Titan Trivia coming back very, very soon, there will be a fatal five-way for the first champion. Any of you gentlemen interested in possibly being in that conversation for the five-way?
Yeah,
No.
I'm not. I'm not good at regular trivia. I play teams in a couple leagues
and geek. Yeah.
And in geek, I'm not a.
Will we see
you
you in the geek world? Will we see you in the geek division? Because I think I could probably find somebody who's really good at geek by the name of Anthony. So
we'll see.
Yeah, Antonio Chavez is pretty good too. So I mean, I could sit you guys out there.
Former king of the mountain.
Yes. All right. What about you, Mr. Diaz? I know you've been really working your way back up. Any chance that we could see you possibly trying to qualify? I mean, Derek Parker has already confirmed that he will be in the Fatal Five-Way, so.
Yeah, I definitely, depending on my schedule, yeah, I'm interested.
Okay. All righty. Well, you know, at least I do know I got Dave here to be a little co-host for that whenever we get those qualifyings. So, but gentlemen, this is your first Battle of the Titans. I mean, it was a Battle of the Titans. So, I mean, and a pretty good comeback from Chris and a good, strong game from both. We will be kicking off again very, very soon. It will be mostly bi-weekly or every Friday. You guys will get a Battle of Titans. Every Wednesday, you will get a geek match. And on Mondays, you will get a trivia match. So look forward to that, guys. Check out. What's up? Yeah. We'll record it probably before. So, anyway, if you guys want to check out the Chris Day podcast, we'll be starting very, very soon. We have a lot to talk about. You know, there's some stuff I would like to talk about as well. You know, me and RJ Hines, who is also my partner on this, break down a lot of the things in the world. We just talk about stuff. I mean, you know, it's a fun little podcast to do. If you guys are going to be here on this YouTube channel, Wednesday, there will be a live stream for the Batman film that I am doing. By the way, thank you to all the love for the Daredevil fan film trailer. I appreciate it. I love you guys. There will be a conversation about what we're doing, and we are introducing kind of this fan verse that I have of making fan films and creating them as one, two stories that I would like to tell. So the announcement of the film and the title and the release date and the cast will be on Wednesday at 8 Eastern. So please check it out. And November 16th and 13th is it's going to be a very big thing because lately I haven't really said for about a year. I've been working on, for those who don't know, I also do singing. I've been working on a pretty big album for my country music, and that is getting a lot of attention. And we've been working in the studio, and we have actually been producing it and getting it sound great. And I cannot wait because it is coming on November 13th. So I'm very proud of that. I'm excited for y'all to hear it. It's very, very fun. It's good, and it hits home as well. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And I also want to tribute this first episode to the co-creator of Titan Trivia, who was the guy who was responsible for all this, who should be here. And that is for my brother, Edward Ross. We love you. We thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will see you guys next time. Take it easy.
See ya.